Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to the final episode of One Hub Racing's pre-race show. We're going to be previewing Las Vegas, and we still have two tiers that could have a championship crown tonight. Well, they have to have a championship crown tonight, but we have two tiers where anything could still happen. My name is Jess Ball, and thanks to Jay Cole for filling for me last time out whilst we were at Abu Dhabi. But join me for the penultimate time this season, because we're going to do the end of season stream next week. But joining me for the final time in the talk show, we got Mr. Colin R. Mason. Colin, final race of the season already. It's gone quick.
Oh, it's gone so quick. I can't believe it. Last race of the season. It feels only yesterday, to be honest, that we were preparing for round one. Absolutely brilliant. And like you said, Jess, we've still got two drivers to crown.
Yeah, we had two drivers that we've already crowned a few weeks ago. Of course, we had Jacob in Miami, Jamie in Abu Dhabi, and we could see history being made in P3 and in P1. But before we do it, we could talk a little bit about the track in question this week that we're going to be visiting, which is Las Vegas. Under the lights, of course. First season Formula 1 back in 2023. 17 corners, 11 to the left, 6 to the right. And of course, we have the famous Las Vegas Strip. We didn't have the Stewards Room stream last time out due to availability. So what should our drivers watch out for today, Cole, in terms of corners and action zones?
Obviously, the very, very long back straight down the strip into turns 14, 15 and 16. Very easy to outbrake yourself there because you are travelling at such a quick speed. So be careful of that section of the track. And the pit entry is quite tricky here. So there's a little bit of a chicane. And it's going to be very easy to pit lane speed in there. And Jess, we've seen it a lot. I don't think one race has gone by where we've not had someone speed in the pit lane.
Yeah, and we've seen hardly any race in Las Vegas where we didn't have a safety car. So safety cars are, of course, quite common. And as it was said in the briefing, hopefully you've all read the briefing. If you haven't already, please do. But the pit entry is important. When entering the pits, the stewards have told us you must move over to the left side of the track before the right line. It is not allowed to cross the right line at pit entry at any point. And if you get caught crossing the right line, you are at risk of a penalty. And the commentators have been told to keep an eye on these drivers who are infringing those rules. So why is it important that they do that? Because possibly people can maybe not see drivers going into the pits and it could cause drama.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody could be coming in the pit lane. Somebody decides, I'm going to go in a bit later, and pandemonium happens, basically. So just make sure that you're the left side of that solid white line. And make sure that you do not cross it, otherwise you are at risk of a penalty.
And say if a safety car comes out and you're just by the pit lane and you're not moved to the left yet, if it's too late for you to move to the left, wait to pit at the next available opportunity. Don't pit at that point, because otherwise you will be getting a penalty. One of our home favourites, of course, is Logan, racing in the P1 tier. And he wanted to do a hot lap for us tonight in Las Vegas. So he's going to take you through a hot lap around how to tackle this circuit. Please watch out, because there's some important corners that I think he takes quite well that you will need to watch out for. So here is Logan, also known as Epic the Animal, doing a lap around Las Vegas. Welcome to a lap guide around Las Vegas. This lap is sponsored by Sim Racing Setups. Aim for the 100 metre board in towards turn number 1, down into third gear. Stay tight as you can to avoid running wide in towards turn 2 and 3. DRS wide open and ERS burned down to 80% on the overtake button. Now you're going to be aiming for the inside curbs in towards turn number 4 in third gear. Make sure you only clip the inside curbs though lightly, because otherwise it can unsettle the car. As you enter the start of sector 2, the spear section, keep as tight as you can to the left in towards third gear. Keep it into third gear or stay in second, depending if you want the car to have extra rotation. Now you'll be entering this long back straight before the Las Vegas Strip. 7th gear through most of that straight before you enter this next section where you're heavy on the brakes in towards 3rd gear. Stay as tight as you can through there. Now you'll be heading through Caesar's Palace into the Las Vegas Strip. DRS wide open, burn all the battery that you can. This car does require low downforce to make sure you have the power to do the overtake and to get the lap that you need in. Now, aim for the heavy braking zone into this final complex of Sector 3. Brake early to make sure you get the rotation in on those curves. Use as much curves as you possibly can. Burn all the battery once more. Make sure you have enough left through the final corner, and that is a lap around the Las Vegas circuit. So that was the Las Vegas Circuit Hot Lap, of course sponsored by Sim Racing Setups. And if you want to get a setup for Las Vegas ahead of tonight, use the code OneHubRacing for 10% off at checkout. And you can also pre-order the F126 setups from there as well for the DLC. We don't know when it's going to come out, but when the release date does come out, the discount will go in terms of like the pre-order discount. So it's at $49.99 at the moment. So if you want to get your pre-orders done now, do it before you have to pay a little bit more. But use the code OneHubRacing for 10% off. Of course, one other championship still to be decided, Cole, is the Predictions Championship. Give us a reminder of what the rules are going to be for the final round.
So, as you know, Jess and I think it was round 7 we started, so we did start a little late. We decided to do our Predictions Championship, and that works for qualifying and the race and for every tier. So, if we correctly predict pole, that person, neither Jess or I, will get a point. If we predict a podium sitter correct, but in the wrong position, you also get a point. But if you correctly get the podium sitter in that exact position, that person can get 2 points. Ooh. So I am 10 points behind, and I need a flipping miracle.
Well, we've had miracles before, Cole. Remember round 9, where I only got 2 points? It could happen tonight. And the rules went out the window last week with you and J. Cole, to be honest, where you weren't allowed to predict the same drivers. But I let that slide for this one because you had to do quite a bit to catch up to me. So I let it slide for a bit. But the rules are back. Every time someone goes first and predicts a driver in that specific order, they can't do it. So say if I predict Bony Fish for pole this week, when I go first in P3, Colin can't do the same, but we flexed the rules last week. Here are the results from last week. Each of us got, I think, 2 points in at least one of the tiers. P3, we had an absolute nightmare last week, didn't we, Carl?
Oh yeah, P3 went completely pear-shaped for us. We weren't anywhere near it.
Nope, I think the podium that we had was not what we predicted. I think nobody that we predicted went on the podium, I believe, for any of our drivers. Same with pole either. You did well with predicting Kinney for P1. Or maybe I should have gone with my gut feeling. And then P1, I don't know what happened. We all did well, but we predicted the other way around. But there we go. So as we were saying, Colin needs a miracle, but Colin's going to go first in P4 later. So we're going to be doing that. And we changed up the order in terms of how we're going to be talking about the tiers. We're going to go through the tiers that have not got a championship to be crowned first. So that'll be P4 and P2. And then we've got P3 and P1. We'll do those last because those tiers are still yet to be decided in terms of a champion. And for each tier, we will have 2 drivers. We'll talk more about P3 in just a moment, why we got 2 drivers instead of 3. But let's talk about P4 first. Jamie was crowned the champion in spectacular fashion last week in Abu Dhabi. Had a poor qualifying, but his race pace was definitely up there.
Oh, he had such a good race. It's been the story of Jamie's season, really. Not very good in quali, but makes up for it in the race. I think that's probably in the off-season where Jamie's going to focus his improvements is only in qualifying, because that's the only part of the season that let him down, really. So Jamie ended up on 162 points, Obviously, 1 round to go. Reaper in second on 124. Jake in third on 104. Now, Jake could get runner-up. So if he gets the race win with the fastest lap, Reaper doesn't score. Excuse me, sorry. Oh, try that again, shall I? Yeah. So if Jake wins the race with the fastest lap and Reaper doesn't score, Jake will get runner-up.
So Jake has an outside chance, pretty much, of getting runner-up. But I think his main focus, as he was saying in the interview, is to get third. And it would have been Joel, but unfortunately he's out of it. But this time it was Ocon, who had a brilliant form as of round 10, really. Round 9, really. Picked up 2 wins in a row. The Miami one was caught on stream, and it was a very well-deserving one. He got his first win in China. Got third place last week, so I believe he got one of his penalties removed, because on stream he finished 4th, but like quite a few drivers, the pit lane penalties of doom haunted him, so he got that penalty removed, and he showed his race director, and there we go. Even though the gap is quite massive between Jake and Ocon, it's still possible for Jake to have a nightmare of a race, and Ocon to win the race, and Ocon to get third. Everything is mathematically possible, but I think unless Jake bottles it, third is definitely his. But we have seen nightmare races from him this season. The lowest he's finished is 10th place. He's been in the points in every single race that he's competed in, which I think is huge.
Yeah, that's the key thing, you know. Unfortunately, if you look, there's a couple of DNSs there. Is that going to come back and haunt them, you know, in this championship hunt now? Ocon has really got to go for it, really. He needs to get a good qualifying and disappear off in the distance, to be honest. But look at that. Look at the difference between Jake and Ocon. Ocon much better in qualifying, but Jake having the edge in the races. So 7-2. In Jake's favour, 5-4 in the race. So Ocon, not very good at quali, but seems to have a little bit better performances in the race, on average. So it's going to be very interesting between this old rival of Mercedes versus Ferrari.
Yeah, which is what we saw in 2018, 2019, and in One Hub we are bringing it back, which is always great to see as well. And don't forget, we still got the fight for pretty much 4th place, pretty much, if Ocon has a nightmare, and even 5th place as well. We got James, Joel, Shiesty, not Shiesty. I think Shiesty's in the fight for 7th place with Curly, but we got the fight for 5th place between James and Joel Flats. Joel Flats would have been in the fight for 3rd, but technical issues. There were some races he couldn't make, which made things a bit unfortunate for him. But don't forget, as well as the fight for 3rd, we still got plenty of fights still to be had in the lower end of the championship. In particular, the fight for 5th.
Yeah, that is really, really tight, isn't it? I mean, you can see that, you know, Ocon 89, James 80, Joe Flats also on 80, and Shiesty and Curly on 68 and 67. And they're not out of it yet. You know, Anything can happen around this track. This track is complete lottery, to be honest. You know, I suspect there'll be quite a few incidents. I expect to see at least one safety car, probably in each tier. And that's going to be very interesting, how the drivers deal with the safety cars. We've seen it in the past where drivers have got it wrong. Reaper, he decided to stay out and didn't pit under the safety car, and it cost him a win, you know, and potentially, you know, a hunt for the championship. That's
same with Jake in Jeddah.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be getting this strategy right. And this is what, you know, this is what I do love about league racing. It's not just how quick are you. You know, there's so many other factors and abilities that you need to be able to challenge for championships and for trophies.
Yeah, I think it could be anyone's game, I think, at Las Vegas. I think we could maybe see a surprise victory. I'm surprised we haven't seen Joel pick up a victory yet. I think if this could be one of the tracks where a surprise could happen and Joel could get the victory, and then that could be him getting 4th place. So it is still possible for Joel. Shiesty has the pace, but there was some luck that hasn't lifted it. But we got the constructors still to think about. There's 38 points available, and Red Bull need a miracle, but McLaren are on 230 with Red Bull on 204. So those two are fighting for the constructors. I think looking at the tiers, I believe that's the only tier that's still got constructors still to be decided, because we got Alpine in P3 that won the constructors for that tier. In P1, we have had, I think it was Williams that won the constructors last week. P2, I have no idea. I'll need to double check that in a minute. But constructors fight still hanging on a bit for P4. But I think it's McLaren's to lose at this point. They got the points gap. If they can continue their form like they've done in the last few races, they will win the constructors.
Yeah, they basically only need a handful of points, and that will do it for them. So they don't need a brilliant result, they just need a solid one. And that will wrap the constructors up for McLaren.
Yeah, I've just been told in a chat from Mike. Thanks, Mike. P2 have wrapped up the constructors in P2. Alpine have wrapped up the constructors in P2. So, yeah, it is just P4 that's still got a constructors fight to be decided, which makes things easier that we only have to trap the drivers tonight for P3 and P1. But for P4, at least we only have the constructors. Now, predictions. Colin, you got to get this right. I'm going to let you go first. Who's your pole and top 3?
Okay. So my pole position is going to be Ocon.
Oh, not my pick, but there we go.
I think Ocon's going to get pole. I'm going to go with an Ocon victory as well. In second, I'm going to go Jake.
Oh!
And in third place, I'm going Jamie.
Right, okay.
That's my top 3.
Right. My pole is going to be Joel Flats. My win is going to Reaper. Second place, ooh, I'm going with Ocon. And in third, I'm going to go for... I can't go for Jamie, so I'm... Right, so I've done Joel, I've done Ocon. Oh, wait, you predicted Ocon P2, didn't you?
I did.
Oh, bugger,
no,
right,
I did the Ocon for the win, Jake for P2, I picked.
Oh, right, okay. Right, so it's... And I forgot who I predicted for the win now. Yeah, Reaper, Ocon, Joel. There we go. That's my top 3. Very bold, but anything could happen in Formula 1. And this is going to be quite a longer talk show this week, because we've got quite a few people that want to talk to us. So shall we bring our fight for third contenders in this call?
Yes, let's get them in and let's see how they're feeling heading into the final round.
Yeah, I will let you take this one, because I want to cover the P3 one later on. So we'll drag those two in, and I'll hand it over to you, Cole. Hopefully they can hear us.
Good morning, drivers. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Lovely. How are you feeling ahead of this race?
Well, I'm dreading Vegas. It's never been a track I've got to grips with, so yeah, I just want to get enough points to wrap up third, which thankfully isn't too many.
Now, do you think you can keep up, can you close that gap to Reaper? You need the perfect race. You need the race win, and you need the fastest lap. You need the fastest lap as well, with Reaper not scoring. It's doable.
Mathematically, yes, but realistically, I'd really doubt. I think even if I somehow looked my way into a win, I don't think I'd get the fastest lap. So, Yeah, I'm not even thinking about P2. I think my chances of P2 kind of went in Miami, unfortunately, when I was involved in an incident which may have cost me the win. But yeah, I'm just focusing on trying to get P3, which has become a lot more difficult in the last 3 races because Okan has really turned up the pace.
Yeah, so what is he, 10, 15 points behind you? You're in a good position. Are you going to be like fighting with him, or are you just going to follow him? What's your plan, or are you just going to play it as it comes?
A little bit play as it comes. I think I'm going to be probably a little bit more cautious today than what I usually am, just because I'm not that confident around the track, and I know I don't need a really good result to wrap up P3. So yeah, I'm going to probably be a bit more cautious than I am normally. So I wouldn't expect too much fighting between me and Okan. To be honest, I expect him to be quicker than me anyway.
And talking of Okan's also in the box. Good morning, Okan. How are you?
Morning. All good, thank you. How about you, Colin?
Very well, thanks, mate. Very well. How confident are you of closing that gap to Jake and pinching that 3rd place?
Unfortunately, not quite confident, so I'm a little bit sad for your predictions.
Not the only one.
Yeah, if you fail, it's because of me. Yeah, I mean, like I needed to learn the track this week, and I didn't have, I think, enough time. But yeah, I will go there and try my best, and I hope I will be lucky, to be honest.
Now, we know there's a high risk of rain. Looking at the percentages, it's almost a dead cert. How are you guys feeling in the rain? Do you want it wet, or are you just hoping for a dry race?
Who wants to go first?
I'll let Okan go first.
Thank you. I think, like from my point, like I need a Hail Mary here, so I don't think I'm good in rain conditions, but I think I need some to clinch the P3. Otherwise, Jake he will win the P3.
What about you, Jake? What are you thinking? Do you want it dry or do you want it wet?
I actually don't think I'd mind a bit of rain. I've said this a few weeks ago now, and it never seems to happen. So
You probably
it's
jinxed
one of those
it.
I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah. I would have. I think rain tends to favour the more experienced drivers, and I'm both experienced and old, so. So yeah, I think it might favour me if it is wet, but we'll see what happens. I think a full wet race wouldn't be bad for me, but I think qualifying is going to be really important if it is wet because it's very hard to pass in the wet conditions.
Yes, it is tricky to pass in the wet. Obviously, you won't have access to DRS, so it's going to be all down to toe and better braking. But good luck to both of you this afternoon. You can tune in to watch the drivers at 3 p.m. For the final race of season 28. Good luck, drivers.
Thank you, and you're welcome for those predictions I gave you, Colin, the other week.
Yeah, that's the most points I've flipping scored.
Yeah.
Best of luck,
to do them this week.
Best of luck, you two, and we'll let you enjoy the rest of your morning. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Have a nice one.
Right then, so we talked about P4. We've got a fight for P2, no, for P3 in the championship in the P2 tier as well. So quite a common thing that we've got in both tiers. So let's speak about P2, shall we? Of course, we had Jacob wrap up a few weeks ago in Miami. Kinney got a very good victory in the P2 tier, which pretty much sentiments him getting P2 in the championship. So he's confirmed to get a trophy this season with the points gap. So well deserved for Kinney. He was pretty much there all season anyway, so well deserved. But we've got the fight between the management, Cole, for third place in the title. and also potentially Josh as well. But I don't actually know. Josh is mathematically out of it. But yeah, it's the battle of the management, Carl.
Yeah, it's gonna be mental. It's going to be very interesting to watch. Now, Lukey does have quite a significant advantage going in. He's got a 13-point lead, which is quite a lot with only one round to go. But anything can happen. It's going to be probably, if I had to put money on it, I'll probably go with Lukey due to the fact he's got that 13-point lead. But we know this track can cause chaos, and a DNF for Lukey and a nice third place for Salo, and that will be enough. And Larkin's knocking on the door as well. Technically, Larkin can get third place. If he wins the race and Lukey and Salo DNF, Larkin will nick third place.
Pretty much, yeah. I think that's the same with all tiers, to be honest. I think there's some drivers that think it's mathematically impossible, but they still have an outside chance of a trophy, but they're probably not thinking about that. I don't think some people may be thinking about that, but it's probably the closest tier where Larkin could still have a chance if Salah messes up. So it's a fight for Larkin to get fourth in the championship, but it'll be amazing if he gets third. Let's look at the standings. Actually, of course, we know about P1 and P2 in the championship. That both of those are wrapped up. Lukey's form in the last few races have been very good, and Salah has as well. I was looking at his pre-race in driver's press conference, and Abu Dhabi for Salah has been the most fun race he has had all season.
Yeah, that's it. It was a very, very exciting race, I got to be honest. But now this comes down to, we've said it time and time again. This is all going to be about how drivers can handle pressure. And it's as simple as that. Salo and Larkin, they've just got to go for it. Win or bust. Lukey's the one who's got to be a little bit more careful. Yeah.
I thought you were going to speak a bit more, actually, so that's why I had a bit of a pause there. But no, it's fine. Yeah, Lukey's got to be careful. I think sometimes when I'm in a pressured scenario like this, I would want to be the one chasing for third place rather than the one in third place. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're the one that has that position, you're going to be the one that has the most pressure. So I think if I was Salah and Larkin, I would want to be in those positions because if you don't get third, fair enough, you have nothing to lose. But if Lukey loses out on third tonight, he's pretty much lost the position he's had for the last few races.
Yeah, exactly. That 13th at round 9 or round 8, that's, I'm hoping it doesn't for his sake, but that could come and bite him if things go pear-shaped this afternoon. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how the drivers cope. Kinney, you feel as though he's on such a run, 3 race wins in a row. Is he going to go and dominate Vegas? We'll have to wait and see.
I think Kinney could just go and have some fun, like Jamie in the P1 tier. They cemented their position. They're going to go and have some fun, and that's probably how Kinney could probably perform better with less pressure because they have got nothing to lose in that respect. Josh, if Larkin and Salah have a rubbish race, Josh could sneak P4 in as well in the championship. And Josh joined midway through the season, and the first few races he had in P2 was remarkable. But he had one bad result. He hasn't been near the front since round 7 of the championship. So if Larkin and Salah have rubbish races, Josh could sneak 4th place and he could have an outside chance of it.
Yeah, exactly that. It's going to be very, very difficult to call. How much effect is safety cars going to have an impact on, you mistime it or don't get the strategy right, and that could screw your race over as well. but it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers get on. Looking further down the championship now, Josh could get a top 5. Alfredo's in the hunt for a top 5. Mr. Zontal has signed out of this race, so he's not in the hunt for the top 5.
At least I know not to predict him then.
God damn it! Why didn't I think of that? But it's gonna be it's gonna be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to watching this one.
I'm looking forward to watching that as well, and just because the fight is over for the drivers, I think the fight for P3 in the championship is going to be just as intense. I'm going to let you go first on this one as well, Carl, for predictions.
Okay, right. Okay. I'm going to go with a Kine pole position.
Oh, God damn it!
Kine for pole for me. I'm also going a Kine victory.
Oh, for God's sake. I was going to predict him.
So that is my race winner. Now, who am I going to go with second place?
Don't steal it.
I'm going to go Josh. Josh in second place. In third place, I'm going to go Jacob.
Oh, okay.
So that's my top 3. Kine, Josh, and Jacob.
Right, I'm going to go with Josh for pole position. Who did you... Yeah, I'm going to go for Josh victory, Jacob second, and Kine third. So we've gone for the same people. Well, kind of, but different order. So you can catch the P2 tier on at 6 p.m. UK time with Mike and Max in the commentary box, the 2 M's. And you can see, will it be Lukey, Salah, or Larkin that could get third in the title? And can Josh sneak a top 5 in the title? Same with Alfie and, Alfie. So let's move on then to our 2 tiers that have still got a driver's title. Yes, we got people that can still go for a trophy as well in that tier, in those tiers. But the main focus we're going to put on is the driver's title. Now, we got some sad news as well. Only the P3 drivers know about this, or if you had a quick glance at the pre-race interviews, you probably know. Adegio told myself and Lukey yesterday that he can't make the final round in Las Vegas because, understandably, he's at the Nürburgring watching the 24 Hours, and he took his son to see Max Verstappen race, which, to be honest, family comes first. We said that to him. It's sad that he's out of the championship fight, which means we've got 2 drivers in the hunt now for the driver's title instead of 3, and that is Boney Fish and Rydog. So Rydog think that he would be an outsider looking in tonight. Now a lot of pressure's going to be on him, but again, he has the least to lose out of the 2 drivers.
Yeah, exactly that. He's got the least to lose. And that, that's the key thing. I cannot see any way, really, of Rydog being able to jump Boney Fish. He's going to need a miracle to be able to do it. Stranger things have happened, mind. It's anything can happen in league racing. Can Welsh Benjamin challenge the top 3 as well? He had such a good start to the season, but the last 5 races really have not really gone his way. He's really struggled to continue his form, unfortunately.
It's a shame for Welsh Benjamin, really, because he was leading for quite a lot of that season, and he was I think after round 5, he was my pick for the title. But remember with Papa Squanch the last season in B2, we were like, yeah, Papa Squanch is going to win fair and square. And we were both like, yeah, Welsh Benjamin's going to win the title. Yeah. And it's because the pressure that he's put himself, once he saw that he was leading, as soon as he started to put pressure on himself, that's where he made the mistakes. And that is why he is now definitely out of the hunt for the championship, whereas his teammate is. Of course, he's going to get a trophy because he's won the Constructors with his teammate. So well done to Alpine. Alpine are doing very well in one hub, but I have to say, both Bonyfish and Rydog have had races where they've had mistakes. Rydog has never finished outside the top 10. Bonyfish has had one race where he didn't perform very well. He finished 12th. So both drivers have made mistakes. So things can happen, especially around the Las Vegas circuit.
Yeah, it's so easy, to make a mistake here, and there's hardly any runoff. You make a mistake here, chances are you're in a wall. That's no front wing, potentially no wheel. And it's such a fast track as well. What setups the driver's going to use? Are they going to go a bit conservative? Are they going to go very low wings? This is what the drivers have got to think about before 4:30 this afternoon.
Yes, and I think we'll make our predictions on who we think is going to win the title. But I think for P3 it's going to be, pretty easy prediction. I think P1 is going to be, the hardest because that's so close. But we'll go through that in just a minute. But with Adegio not in this fight now, we could see Rydog and Joe potentially go for second. Welsh Benjamin technically, but I think he would need to win with the others DNFing in order to do that. But Joe and Rydog could snatch second place from Adegio if Rydog and Joe have good races. We could see a Rydog and Joe get a trophy. And we still have, two other drivers who could still get third in the drivers, but they would need a miracle, just like we've just talked about in P4 and P2. So pretty much, I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers are fighting for trophies tonight. Mathematically.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I remember doing it. It's a long time ago for me, but it's just, I love that adrenaline buzz that you get when you're, in the hunt for a top 3. That pressure. Some drivers thrive on it. Some drivers, it doesn't affect them too well. We will soon see which drivers can perform under pressure and which struggle.
Yes, I think if I want to get third in the championship, I would need a win and fastest lap with everyone else around me DNFing, which is realistically not going to happen. I think Joe is going to probably hope the same, that he can get the win as well to beat Rydog and Adegio in the championship. Welsh Benjamin can, I'm just trying to do the maths. Welsh Benjamin can get, if he wants third, he can get a top 2 with everyone else around him DNFing. That is possible as well. But I think your pick for the championship is definitely Bonyfish. Is that right, Cole?
Yeah, 100%.
Yep, same with me. So no pressure, Bonyfish. But it would be amazing to see Rydog win it out of all of... Because... I'm going to brag things a bit here. I remember we did our pre-season predictions on who we think is going to win the title. We picked 3 drivers. There were 2 drivers, to be fair, that are near the bottom of the championship that I predicted for the title. I don't know why I predicted those 2. It was Gazza and JR Mason, but there we go. But Rydog, I predicted as drivers to watch out for this season. So if he goes on to win the championship out of all odds, Rydog can thank me because I predicted him from the start of the season to do well in the championship.
Yes, it's really strange. Don't forget, this is the same game as last season. Nothing's changed. But the results are, quite dramatically different to what we've seen last year. Yes, we've had a few new drivers as well, so that's kind of split it a little bit. But it's, I would say the biggest improvement in this tier of this season is probably going to go with either Bryn Mike, I would say.
And Mikey.
And Mikey, yeah. So Mike's had a podium, 3 5ths, 6th and a 7th. 10 times better than last season. Mikey getting his first victory this season. Also had a
that's
second place
amazing.
as well. On the subject of that, I'd just like to do a quick, because we obviously didn't do the stewards briefing on Friday. Now, Adagio had 15 seconds worth of time penalties. But he failed to give us the race director. So the
Which cost him the win.
And it cost him the win. And it cost him a lot of points. So it's so important that you record your race director footage at the end of the race. And we won't accept third-party
telemetry software
or Excel documents. Because to be blunt, they can be fiddled. So just be very vigilant at the end of your race. Record your race director footage if you wish to remove any penalties or any warnings.
Excluding pit lane speeding penalties. Those can't be removed.
Exactly.
You're stupid if you get a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Unless you're going at the right speed, but the game just gives you a penalty anyway. Those are the only times.
Which we have seen actually in the past.
Yeah, with Moqui in Australia, if I remember. So. Yeah. So there we go. So Alex is probably wondering why I'm saying, well, yeah, I don't have a clue either, but yeah. But anyway, let's go through our predictions. Should I be mean and go first, or should I let since Colin's behind me in the championship, I'll let him go first again.
Get it right.
Don't bottle it. I've given you your chance.
My pole position is going to go to Bony Fish.
Right.
That's my pole position. The race win, I am also going Bony Fish.
Okay.
In second place, Rydog. And in third place, Mikey.
Oh, okay. Right, I got to think now. I think pole position is going to. Oh, it can't be Bony Fish because I picked him. I've got the most to lose at this point, but I need to score a few points to beat Carl. So my pole position, I'm going to be very bold here. And I've looked at the chat, so it's probably cheating earlier on. I'm going to go with either Mike getting pole position. He's going to get his first pole in 1 half. I got to be bold at some point, I probably bottled it, but there we go. But he's not going to get the victory.
Jess is out of bed again. Sorry, Mike, I couldn't resist that.
My race victory is going to be. I'm going to go with. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to go with Ride Dog for the win. Joe in second. Bony Fish, I'm going to pick third. I probably bottled it, but I don't care. If these predictions put me like losing the championship after winning every time, I don't know what to think. But shall we get our 2 championship contenders in, Colin?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, let's drag them in. Good morning, drivers. Can you hear us?
Yep. Morning.
Good morning. So, welcome in. We'll start off with, of course, our championship leader, Bony Fish. You've had a very good season, your first season in One Hub. After going into the final round, were you ever expecting to be the one that's leading the championship going to the final race when you were looking back to like race 1, for example?
No. Wasn't. Not at all.
Yeah, I think I was probably thinking the same thing. Your form was looking great pretty much in most races this season. How are you feeling about Las Vegas tonight? Is this one of your strong tracks? I remember you were saying that you don't like lower downforce tracks, but is this out of the norm? Do you like this track?
I'm all right round the track. I'm not. It's just not one of my favourites. It's not turn 14, 15, 16 that bother me. It's turn 12.
I can't remember what turn 12 is. Is it just before the straight?
It's the one after turn 11, Jess.
Straight.
Oh, for goodness sake, Colin. But since you got quite a big gap between yourself and your nearest rival of Ride Dog, does that put you less pressure a little bit, or do you think that puts you under more pressure?
I think it. Honestly, I mean, we don't know what the weather's going to be yet. I think that's the part that worries me more than the race itself.
Yeah. You don't. So what? Leading on to weather, because you just mentioned it, you want it to be dry, don't you, or would you want a bit of wet weather?
I wouldn't mind wet, as long as it's inters. If it's inters, fine.
Okay. I'm pretty much the same, to be honest, if I were you. And speaking of our next championship contender, let's bring Ride Dog in. We were thrown a curveball yesterday when we were told that Deggio couldn't make it tonight. You were an outsider looking in, and now suddenly you are one of those drivers where the commentators are going to keep an eye on you. Does that change your mindset going into this one, knowing that you could... realistically, you may not win the title, but you could possibly get a P2 out of all of this. How are you feeling about tonight?
I'm feeling optimistic. I'm
Yes.
sort of not letting the championship permutations get into my head and all that. Just gonna go out there, have fun, and what'll be will be.
And that's what's helped you, I think. If I'm looking at the standings, I think from round 4 onwards, as soon as you started to put less pressure on yourself, the results came. Yes, you didn't have a good race in Jeddah, but all the other races, most of the races you've never finished outside the top 5. Do you think putting less pressure on yourself pretty much helped you get those results? And that win in China, I have to say, was one of my favourite races to watch of yours, because your pace looked insane. Was that because you put less pressure on yourself?
I'd say so, yeah. Like, ever since round 4, I've just put less pressure on myself and just race, basically, and just have fun.
And to be honest, I took your advice after Silverstone because I was crying and everything, and you said put less pressure on yourself, and that's what's helped me a little bit. And I asked Bonyfish about his thoughts on Las Vegas. What about you? Of course, you're on a pad, whereas I think Bonyfish is on a wheel. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bonyfish. But what do you think about Las Vegas? Is it a track that you're confident in?
I'd say I'm okay at it. I wouldn't say I'm going to set the world alight time-wise, but hopefully my race pace makes up for it.
Yeah, because I think your race pace over the last few races have been very, very good. Yes, you may not have had a good result in Abu Dhabi, but you still were fighting it near the top 10, and you could still potentially get a trophy. And don't forget, Joe's knocking on the door as well, or potentially knocking off 3rd place from you. Is there a danger that you could lose out on a trophy if you mess up tonight?
Well, I mean, it doesn't really help that he's only 7 points behind me, but in a sense, it just spurs me on to push harder. I
love it. Absolutely love it. So, Bonyfish, going again to you. What is your target in the race? Because of course you just technically need to finish inside the top 8. Would you want higher than 8th in the Las Vegas race, or do you just want to play it safe and wherever it will be will be?
Keep it on the track. Keep it away from the walls. That's my aim tonight. I'm in R4.
So play it. So damage limitation. Play it safe. I like it. Of course, Ride Dog. You need a miracle. What is your goal in terms of race results tonight? I think looking at the permutation, you got to finish inside the top 3. Do you think you can win tonight?
If it's wet and I have a miracle race like I did last season in I think it was Kota, then yeah, I could possibly say I could go for the victory, but
Oh yeah, you're good in the rain,
realistically,
aren't you?
realistically, I want to say I'd be happy with like top 5, maybe, yeah, P5 or P4, if not a podium. It'd be a miracle if I win tonight and somehow get the title, but I just got to say, Bonifish, you've been stellar all season, and if you win tonight, you thoroughly deserve it, man.
Good sportsmanship, I think, between yourself, Ride Dog, and Bonyfish, and I have to agree with you as well. Since you've joined the season, Bonyfish, you've been pretty much incredible. But I know Miami you did quite well as well. So probably the hopes are there. Any final thoughts, Bonyfish, to your competitor, Ride Dog, and also to Adegio as well that couldn't make it tonight?
Yeah, it's a shame my dad isn't racing tonight. I would have loved to have a fight with a pair of them rather than just Rye, but just good luck to everyone. I'm Rye Dog. I hope none of us crash. I mean, there's only been one safety car this year, so that might not happen again with us. So it might be a really good race, and I hope everybody does well, to be honest.
P3 tier best tier with the only tier that already had one safety car, just saying. That was in Japan, and that brought me back into the race. But Bonyfish, Ride Dog will let you go. Best of luck to the pair of you, and best of luck to anyone fighting for the trophy. And you can catch those two at 4:30 with Lawrence and Curly in the commentary box. And by 6 o'clock, we will know who has won the title. Best of luck to you two, and hopefully you can give us some good battles out there. Hopefully we can see both of you fighting on track as well. Good luck.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, thank you.
Right, there we go then. One more tier to go, and probably the closest one of all, Cole, the P1 tier, and the gap is just minuscule. We saw Marco took, I think, a very important victory, but Alex was not that far behind. Looking at the gap, 161 to 157, the gap now is 4 points. So pretty much, whoever wins the race could win the title, or whoever outscores. It depends on where they are, but it's anyone's game between the top two. All the other tiers, it was just like a big gap between first and second. Alex and Marco, it's anyone's game. I can't call this tier in who's going to win the title.
No, nor me. It's going to be super, super close. I mean, you could argue the momentum's with Alex a bit, even though Marco did win the last race. I feel as though Joe, I really don't know. It's too difficult to call. I suspect those two will be first and second. What order? Not a clue.
Yeah, I have no idea. But I was watching the Abu Dhabi race from my hotel last week with Ivor, Bryn, Mike and Evil covering the action. And the fighting that Alex and Marco have for that entire race has been exceptional. They left quite a lot of space and they gave some really good battles. I expect to see the same tonight. And this is probably going to be the first time where I'm going to have to look at the permutations. Alex, unfortunately, he went to the stewards' room as well to get a penalty removed. But the stewards did decide that the warning was justified, and Alex looked back at it and was like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that." So they can't afford to get those warnings.
No, just looking at the chat, right? So Mike's done some mathematics. Imagine Marco wins with the fastest lap and Alex gets second. They'd be tied on points.
I'll go to count back.
And it will go count back. And they'd be tied on wins as well.
Yeah, because they both got 4 wins. They both got 4 wins. So it will go down to second places, which they're tied for second places as well.
Alex would nick it because he'd have 2 second places to Marco's 1.
No, he did. Did he get a second? No, he didn't get a second. He got a 12, didn't he, in round 3? Not a second.
But obviously, round 12, he'd have that second place then if he does get second.
Yeah. I'm saying he didn't get. Let me get the standings. Am I not I
So
not?
Alex has had one. So at the moment, Alex has got 5 victories. Marco's got 4.
So it will go to Alex on count back because if
on second places alone, yeah.
Yeah, so if Marco wins tonight, if Marco wins tonight, it will go. No, yeah, I don't think he's got. Say it will go to Marco because he's got more third places because they're tied on second. If you look at the standings, Alex got a 4th, a 1st, a 12th, a 5th, a 9th, a 1st, a 1st, a 1st, 4th, 1st, 2nd, whereas Marco has got the same amount of second as well and 2 third place. So if Marco wins tonight, and if Alex is close on second place, Marco would win on countback due to the amount of third places. So
no, Alex would because Alex would have the second place. So at the moment, Marco's got
never mind. I was talking.
So
I
Alex
forgot
would
about
get
the
another
future.
second. Yeah. Confused me there as well. So that's gonna be bonkers.
Me, my brain going crazy just shows how bonkers this championship has been. It really has. Apologies if I got a bit confused, but it was a shame that Kevin left halfway through the season, but because of that, it made the championship more interesting. But one driver to keep an eye on tonight is Mert. Mert will help Marco, I would say, tonight, because Williams have clinched the constructors last week in Abu Dhabi, so Mert has nothing to worry about in terms of that. He can focus on making sure Marco has the best result tonight. But Alex doesn't have his teammate nearby, whereas, because his teammate is near the bottom of the championship, whereas Mert is sitting 5th in the championship. And don't forget, we still got the fight for 3rd in the championship between Mert and Craggy as well to fight with as well, with Kevin not here. So if Craggy just scores 7 points tonight, he could be in the running for 3rd. I think if Mert scores, 12 points, he could be in the running for 3rd as well.
Yes. Obviously, Kevin is disqualified from the championship, so his results won't matter anyway. But, Mertz... Marco will be hoping that Mertz is in a mood to help him, but Mertz is fighting for a top 3 as well.
A trophy,
so he's gonna want to challenge for that trophy. Looking at this championship, what a season of... it's split almost down the middle for Lakitu. Had a fantastic start to the season, 5th, 6th, 2nd, 5th. And it's gone very, very pear-shaped since round 7. Really not a good second half for Lakitu at all. He's going to be very disappointed with his second half results. And because first half of the season, he was in the hunt for the championship.
He was.
And now it's completely gone away from him.
Yeah, he did not have a good result in Abu Dhabi. He got a 14th place. Logan had a good result in Abu Dhabi. And don't forget, for Logan and for Cameron P3, it's their home Grand Prix, which possibly gives them an extra incentive for them to have a spice for the win and possibly interfere with the championship contenders as well. Drivers have been told, obviously, to not cause too much trouble with the championship contenders. But with drivers like Logan, Craggy and Mert in there, maybe Casper as well, because Casper's form seemed to pick up in the last few races, and Casper seems to like Las Vegas. We could have loads of drivers that could interfere in terms of positions here. We don't know who could potentially win this race because there's so many drivers liking this track after looking at the media day stuff.
Yeah, exactly that. It's a bit of a topsy-turvy one. Some people like it, some people don't.
Like Marmite.
Yeah, pretty much. And there you can see the lineups. We've had a few new drivers as well. Are they going to pay? Are they going to have an effect on this championship? We'll have to wait and see.
And Arnold as well has been looking quick over the last few races. Gabe has been up there. Pretty much most drivers have been up there as well, including your teammate J. Cole. Never heard of him. And Morgan as well. Let's draw our attention to Morgan. Morgan, yes, he's lower down in the championship, but he's not that far off a top 10 finish in the P1 Championship after winning a P2 title last season. This will be huge if he could get another good result tonight. Yes, things didn't go his way in Abu Dhabi, unfortunately, which I've got it for him, but he could still sneak a top 10 finish out of nowhere if other people around him make mistakes, which will be huge for someone who was trying to settle into the tier. He's had a few for top 5 finishes, which is incredible for him.
Yeah, he's had 2 tremendous results. He needs another blinder of a result, and he might, like you said, get in the top 10.
Yeah, which will be huge. Of course, Senna was looking good, I think, recently as well. Let's go through our predictions, and Colin, it's your final chance to redeem yourself, my friend.
Right.
Get your predictions.
Pole position. I'm going to go Alex.
Okay.
The race win and winning the championship, I am going Marco. In second place, I'm going Alex.
How's that going to work? Because if it's on
place-
count back, Alex will win the title.
But Alex won't get the fastest lap.
Ah, okay. There we go. Right, carry on.
So, and in third place, I'm going to go Mertz.
Okay. I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go with a Marco pole and Alex win to win the title. I'm going to go with Marco second and Mertz third. No, I can't go with Mertz third. Damn it. I'm going to go with...
Sorry, who was your poll, Jess? Sorry?
Well, the other championship contender that you didn't go with. Yeah. Wait, hold on. So it's Alex, Marco, and I'm going to go with a bold prediction, but it may not be bold after a brilliant result last week. I'm going to go with the home favourite, Epic the Animal, Logan, to get third, because I can't go with Mertz because you went for him. God damn it, you.
Oh.
So there we go. So you could catch myself and Jamie at 7:30. Oh, that's going to be so exciting. My voice is probably going to die after the end of this one, but you can catch myself and Jamie at 7:30. Who will do it? Will it be Alex or will it be Marco? I think it will be Alex who will win the title. Colin thinks slightly differently. It'll be interesting to hear your thoughts in at the chat. So we'll see what happens. And Mike saying Mert last week was a great teammate for Marco, so I reckon he'll do it again. This could happen. A few more things to say. Actually, no, not a few more things to say. We got a special guest, Cole, for the last minute. We have got
special being the optimum word.
We have got one of our championship contenders who is really early for him because, of course, he's Canadian or American. I don't know. But our championship leader is going to be here to talk to us. Early morning, fair play to him. He just got up as well. I need to put the oven on. So, Colin, I'll hand it over to you to interview our championship leader.
Welcome. I tell you what, this championship fight is one of the best P1 championship fights I can remember for many, many, many seasons. You have driven brilliantly this season. You're very, very quick. You don't make many mistakes. You're going to go and win it, aren't you?
First of all, thank you guys for having me on, of course. Sundays are always one of my favorite mornings as we have the good old talk show and all the other tiers before mine. So it's always fun hanging around and watching, especially with it being Sunday, pretty convenient in the morning for me. So first of all, I wanted to just say I love this league and thank you guys. For the championship, I would disagree. I've made a few mistakes, a few I've noticed. Japan, not getting any practice. Hungary, not staying on top and making sure I was in the lobby because I was doing other things. A few other races, right? But overall, I've been really proud of how I've come through the field on a few occasions, and all the racing with all the guys has been super clean, because even one extra incident this season could have made my championship look a lot more difficult.
Yeah, it's been a very difficult championship for every driver, really. The standard is so high. There's very, very few incidents. We've had hardly any safety cars, really, as well, which shows the standard of the tier. Now, we know there's a chance of rain. Now, do you want it dry or do you want it wet?
So, if you guys have paid attention to some of the post or pre-race interviews, I tend to prefer dry. I wish it was dry the entire season, every single race, quali session, because I just don't take the time to practice in the wet. So, I may have to this time just to make sure I cover all my bases, but I usually would not.
Yeah, and we will obviously find the weather out very shortly. But best of luck, Alex. Thank you very, very much for joining One Hub. You've been a great addition to the league. Very, very quick. If you wouldn't mind slowing down a bit to help me out, that would be great. Thanks a lot. And hopefully I'll be up there with you, but I'm not particularly confident around here. But have a good race. Let's hope there's no bad luck either, affecting either yourself or Marco. So best of luck for tonight, and I shall see you in the lobby at about 7:30.
Thank you. I'll need it. Ciao.
There we go then. So
What a nice guy.
Yeah, a lovely guy, and fair play for him to getting up at stupid o'clock in the morning his time to be interviewed. Fair play. So we've
exactly.
Yeah, of course, Marco wasn't confident enough to share his voice to be interviewed today, which is fair enough. But at least we heard from at least one of our championship contenders, which is always great to see. It'll be lovely to hear
That's
from...
it, Mike gets a penalty. Mike gets a penalty. Look at the chat. That'll be the only time we'll see him. That's a 90-point deduction for Mike.
Oh yeah. I was wondering what was going on there. But I wish Alex and Marco the best of luck, and hopefully they'll give us some close battles on track. And I can't wait. And best of luck to everybody who is fighting for a trophy or a championship tonight. It's going to be good. Hopefully at the end of season stream, we will hear from our P2 champion, Jacob, because we heard from Jamie last week, but we didn't really hear from him or how he felt when he won. But we will hear from Jacob next week. Hopefully we'll get him on stream to get his thoughts in. We'll try and get all 4 of our champions in, actually. Wouldn't that be good? So we'll try and do that as well. For the final time this season, we got 2 more things to reveal. We got the car wear. So... we know, after looking at the tickets, there'll be at least a few drivers that will be getting points deductions. I'm not going to say who, Cole, but they should have read the rules, and they didn't. I think the only ones that won't be getting points deductions for those people that joined from round 11 onwards in Abu Dhabi. So the newest drivers for P3 and P4, they don't need to do those penalties, so they're all good. Everyone else... there are a few drivers that are in danger, but I'm not going to go through those. But we do have some car wear penalties, Cole, for the final time this season, which is going to be interesting. I'll go through them. So we've got a gearbox for Craggy in P1. We've got Seco that's taken an engine in P2. Nicholas is taking a gearbox. Cam Rules is taking a gearbox in P3. Matthias is taking an engine. Jack Craig is taking an engine, Rich is taking a gearbox, and Gabe is taking an engine penalty. So those are your penalties for today, and for some drivers that maybe not be listed, they could be under points deduction. It'll be, I'm trying to remember, 20 points deduction for if you don't take an engine, and 10 if you don't take a gearbox. And that'll be huge for your Constructors' Championship hopes and the team criteria hopes, really. So if you realise that your teammate hasn't pulled your weight, your Constructors is probably going to be letting you down a bit. But we'll see. Those are the penalties. Luckily, none of our championship contenders. Thank the Lord.
Yes, luckily... our championship contenders have taken their gearbox and engine penalties, but like Jess said, there are a couple that have failed to do so, and they will be getting a points deduction, and that could affect the Constructors' Championships.
And if they miss tonight's race and they put a ticket, they will get points deduction as well. So just to be careful about that. So, yeah, those were our final penalties of the season. And for one final time this season, the adaptive weather system, where we've seen probably less monsoon weathers and more droughts and dry races. Could we get wet weather? I don't want it to rain at Las Vegas, but for the league, we hope it happens, because otherwise I don't know what to think, and we will probably need to go investigating. But for one final time, I don't think we need to go through the weather scenarios. People know how it's all going to work. What's your quali predictions for the weather?
Wet for the wet in quali, wet in the race.
So very wet to wet in quali, yes. And
yeah.
Right, hold on. Let me get the. I'm trying to get the. Cause it would have helped if I had the race wheels to hand really before the stream, but I didn't, and that's the first time ever that has happened. So let's get the wheel so it's ready. So you want either wet to overcast to very wet, or very wet to clear, or wet to overcast to wet. Which one of the two that you want?
The wettest one possible.
So, very wet to overcast to very wet, like we had at Silverstone last year.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay then. So I was gonna do race first, but we would if we do race first. So let's go on to qualifying, and of course we've had 3 wet qualifyings. Could we have a wet qualifying here? I hope for dry qualifying personally, but. Here's your qualifying wheel. We got quite a few options remaining. So let's spin the wheel. Da-da-da-da. Oh! The worst one of the lot. Very wet to light cloud, Cole. Now that's going to be interesting.
Ooh. Now, I very, very much doubt that's going to be dry. Very wet to light cloud. That's going to be intermediates at the end. I would guess. I cannot see that drying up. Not from very wet.
But don't forget, Cole, it's on approximate, so it could be different for all 4 tiers this evening. So just because P4 says, if you watch the P4 stream, and if you're waiting in P3, I'm like, oh, it dries up with 3 minutes to go. Oh, I'll go on dries then. It may not happen that way.
Yeah, it might not work that way.
So you got to go with your gut feeling. Go when the time is right. You hopefully you'll have some strategies to decide on when you think it's going to dry up. And I'm a bit worried with this weather combination now because I'm rubbish in the wet. But we will see what happens. Let's go to the race. And Colin hopes for very wet to overcast to very wet. I'm hoping for a wet to dry race. That's what I'm hoping for. No, that's what I'm hoping for. A wet to dry race to spice things up a bit, because we haven't had a wet start to the race. So I'm just looking. I want it very wet to clear. That's what I want it for. Yeah, I know I'm going to do rubbish, but who cares? I'm not in the fight for the championship. So, we got the wheel in front of us. So, let's spin, for the final time, the wheel. Here we go. Da, da, da.
Here we go.
Oh, no, it's not the one I want. Damn it. Okay. Clear to light cloud to very wet. So we got some rain. Not how we would have wanted, though, annoyingly, but we got some rain.
Oh,
Finally!
Alex is not happy. Poor Alex is not happy. That is bonkers. But how late is that rain going to come?
It might not come at all, like we saw in P1 in Japan. So for Alex's sake, he's going to hope that the rain doesn't come at all. We'll have to find out. So, we would like to thank you for the final time. Our sponsors, we got, of course, our title sponsor, Delta.app, and then we've got thank you to Sim Racing Setup, Next Level Racing, Pure Sim Gear, as well as our partners, Vespertine and SimGrid. Colin, any final thoughts, especially to the ones fighting for a trophy tonight?
Just good luck to all the drivers fighting for championships and trophies tonight. And I'd just like to say a thank you to every driver who has joined One Hub this season. It's been a very special season, in my opinion. I've loved every second of it. And without you guys, putting in the effort, putting in the time, turning up each week, it obviously wouldn't work. So just thank you to all the drivers, and a huge thank you to our commentators who have been absolutely superb all season long, and made it so exciting for us to watch. Just one more to go.
And we had quite a few commentators.
This is the last league race for me on F125.
Same with me, I think. I've got a social race, but that doesn't count. So this is my final competitive race on F125 before maybe potentially the DLC comes out. Of course, we've got the All-Star event coming up as well, but that technically is not a competitive race. But yeah, thank you to all of our commentators. We'll do our proper thank yous next week, Cole, but thank you to you, Colin, for joining me in the pre-race show over the last...
You're very welcome.
10 weeks. Of course, you missed one, I missed one, so we did 10 weeks together. And of course, thank you to Jake and to J. Cole for filling in for either one of us when one of us couldn't make it. You guys are legends. And make sure you join us 3 o'clock for the first stream with Evil Dragon and Bony Fish, and we will find out in P4 who will get P3 in the championship. Will it be Jake or will it be Oaken by the smallest margins? We will have to wait and see. Join us at 3 o'clock. Good luck, everybody, and we will see you very, very soon at 3 o'clock for P4. Bye-bye.
Bye, all.